All right, y'all. So I want to talk about Dee Alford. This man is quietly having one of his best seasons, and he was already good in 2023. That down year in 2024, like, I really can't put that all on him. Yes, he had some moments more times than not, but everybody's starting to see that was that scheme, and it was not D. If you've been around me before I even started the channel, you already know I had the opinion that, all of our guys, they weren't even that bad. D was never bad. I was always a fan of him because of what I saw in 2023. He was one of the best nickels in the league then we got a new defensive coordinator and things hit the fan for him. But either way, everybody knew, I was the main one defending him because I'm like, how did everybody just seem to look over what he did in 2023 because he's in a bad scheme now? And hey, but it's whatever, man. So I got some of his cut ups for this year, and we're gonna go over them because everybody's turning heads after what he did to Josh Allen. Got the interception, had a very good game that day. So let's go over his tape in general so far, and I'm show you why exactly he's always been good. It's just a matter of being put in the right position to succeed. So let's go and get into the film. Now, this is the first play I want to look at. Now, in the last video, I did go over that interception, but I literally just read something where D said, hey, they put this on tape and I saw it and I triggered immediately. So what he's talking, why is that right there? Anyways, what he's talking about is these in cuts. So remember, if you watch the video actually leading up to before the Buffalo game, I said they run this concept where you're going to have like this clear out by this receiver right here, and you're going to have your in cut right there. And technique wise, I want y'all to pay attention to, how he's playing this, because when we get up here to the line, you can already tell he already has, that outside leverage. So when we get into this rep, I want y'all to pay attention to how he plays it. So when we get, get the snap, and you see he's already like anticipating this in breaker, right? Because he's literally reading 3-2. Okay, that's what I'm assuming, because that's what it's looking like. Okay, even though his eyes are right here, he still has vision on that number 3 receiver, because I'm assuming if that guy breaks out, I'm on that. I'm already in position on everything. Now, they could be in man coverage, but I'm thinking he's looking at both of these guys. And once he sees that guy break in, he's already knowing, oh yeah, I'm finna jump this in cut. I'm finna jump this in cut. Look at that. Look at that. He's in position. Boom, give me that. Like, this is what film study gets y'all, bro, because I'm like 90% sure D was looking at 3. He had 3 in his peripherals also while keeping 2 right there, standing over top of 2. He saw 3 go in, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm finna get this. He's like, I'm finna get that. Look at that. Because it's no coincidence, once again, it's no coincidence once 3 breaks in, he gets very aggressive on this in cut because he already knew, hey, I'm finna go jump this. And we got the interception. Good play rec, good film study, because I saw it too. I very much saw it too. All right, so this next play right here, this is also a D play, but this is also an AJ Terrell play because this was a very good rep from both of these guys, okay? They're going to be motioning over the tight end, and he's pretty much going to seal the backside. You're going to have this guy also go this way, okay? You're going to have this receiver running out route. The running back's going to get out into the flat. Then you're going to have a crossing route coming from the backside. Simple play action, cross. I don't even know what you would call this concept, but something the Bills would run to take advantage of teams triggering on the run, because this was in the second half, okay? But let's look at D Alford. Let's look at his rep, because the way to trigger or the way to shift from running to pass is great. Because look at this. We're going to get that motion, and he's going to come down and get to his spot to fill the run, right? But then once he sees that ball, he gets depth immediately, and I love that, okay? Because look at this. Now, this looks like cover 3, in my opinion, because look at this. Once again, if we're in cover 3, we have an outside third by AJ. D offers to curl the flat, so he's going to play curl through the flat. And he does a very good job of playing this top down, okay, because he deters this pass. Josh Allen can't put this pass anywhere. He has to literally put this like on a very small line right here. And even then, D's bailing, AJ's triggering. So you're throwing it into double coverage essentially, okay? And you see he wants to throw it. He wants to throw this, but AJ and D, they're in great position to, stop this, okay? And then, even if you want to come to this second read, guess who's right there in front of him? He's been getting his hand on, footballs all season over the middle. So you don't even want to throw that either. And to go from run to pass like that and still get a sack, very good stuff right there from the whole team, not just D. Now, I got to move the camera because he's at the top of the screen playing on the boundary now. His game versatility has always been there. Now, him playing in the nickel, I never had a problem. kind of like it more because he fits that nickel personality, but he can also bang outside, with the X receivers. So we're getting just a simple slant route by Ted McMillan, right? You want to take advantage of a big body on a smaller body, let him box him out. But like the one thing about D that nobody really understand, or they don't really notice, that he's a very physical corner. And I've said this before too, like let him get up and press, let him get up and reroute guys, challenge guys at the line. Jeff Ulbrich wants to challenge guys at the line. So you're gonna see we're gonna have a press coverage rep by Dee Alford, okay? I want y'all to watch this, man. So look, this is technique, bro. You don't necessarily open the gate just yet because he's selling that, he's selling that goal right here. I know I've been very high on Tech McMillan, right? But this release was terrible, okay? Because I'm assuming he wants to do a diamond release, sell the vertical, then snap it up under him. That's what he's trying to do. But when D doesn't even open the gate, he doesn't, flip his hips. He can stay in perfect position, okay? And he's taking advantage of a bad route and stay on top of it. And look at that. When this ball gets here, guess what he does? He plays through the hands. Boom, knocks it down, okay? And I think the replay showed it where it was more of a drop, but still, it's not always necessarily playing, or getting a hand on the ball. It's making the catch just very difficult to make, okay? Because even if he didn't touch this ball, that's a hard catch to make with a 6 foot, 190 pound man on you, right? Even though he's 6'5" by 215, D is not small by any, thought like stretch of imagination. I can't even think of the phrase right there. But look, he plays through the hands, gets a pass breakup right there on one of the best, rising receivers in the league. And he let him know about it. He let him know about it. That shoulder shrug, bro. He's like, I ain't no hoe. I ain't no hoe. Come on, bro. He ain't no hoe, bro. So for this one, if you're asking why you're seeing Panthers tape, I have to give y'all some backstory on this next one because I saw this last year when I was watching for the Week 18 game, okay? And I was like, wait a minute. I watched this rep against D, and I'm like, this is the same thing, isn't it? So look, what we're getting here is we're going to have XL. He's going to just do a stop route. But this route right here is very important. It's called, I want to say it's called a drift off. So you're going to run like you're running a drift route, okay? If you don't know what a drift route is, it's one of the very common routes in the Shanahan system. But instead of breaking out or going across the field, he's going to go right back up the field after selling that drift route, okay? This is the most important thing you got to look for, okay? Because guess what? They scored on this, right? And this was in the low red zone. So look at this. Check it out. You know what I'm talking about? Boom, boom. Okay, easy touchdown. I just want to show y'all that. Now, when we get to this rep that I want to show y'all, you're going to get the same thing, but you're just going to get it dressed up a little bit differently. These guys aren't going to be stacked, and instead of just running a hitch, he's going to be running a choice out, okay? And then this guy's going to be running the same thing, drift, and then go right back upfield. Doesn't really matter what's going on right here, but all you need to know is that they're going to be attacking his outside leverage because he wants to trigger down on that, which is going to put him in the bad position. He's going to be behind him chasing, and all you got to do is just put the ball right on the spot for your receiver to go get, okay? So check this out. This is why, film study is important. I'm not sure if he saw this on film or not, but, this is one of the things they love to run, okay? So watch this. Check this out. He's doing this from press, too. Let that sink in. Let's check it out. Because, once again, all he needed to see was, that Xavier Watts was on number 2 the whole way. Okay, once he saw that, the middle field opened wide open for him. And you're going to see right here, D does a great job in this rep. Okay, let's back it up just a little bit. Let's look at Dee Alford specifically. He's doing a good job standing on that top hip, okay? Even on this break, this first break right here, okay, he's still he's a little bit behind him, but look who's lurking. Look who's ready. Look who's ready. You play into your leverage and your help. That's the ultimate trust in your teammates, okay? Look at that. He's not worried about that, but we already know that he's going to go right back upfield, okay? He's still on that top shoulder, so he's already at an advantage when you're talking about this route. So once he gets back upfield, he loses slightly a step, but he's still right there step for step with him, okay? Cool. And you're going to see the ball is put in a decent spot, but D is doing a very good job of playing, through the hands, being aggressive at the catch point because this is an incomplete pass, which could have very well been a touchdown if he wasn't tracking the ball properly. I'm going to be real. If this was last year, I think he probably panics on that, but he didn't panic. He stayed true to his leverage. He stayed true to his help, and boom, we got a pass breakup. All right, so now this is the last one, but I'm going to tell y'all where this becomes the game within the game, okay? So if you look at Adam Thielen's split right here, you're going to see he's aligned outside the numbers, okay? As a DB, when you think, based on his splits, you can tell what a receiver is going to do, right? So when he's outside the numbers, you're probably thinking slant, you could probably think dig, probably think out. You could probably think a certain amount of routes that he could run based on his splits, right? But let's look at what happens before this play is snapped. He's going to cut his split down, okay? Now, what does that trigger for D? Okay, well, now he's in a cut split. Here's a tight end right here. What do I need to be looking out for? Okay, he could be right here to get across the field quickly, okay? He could be doing a speed out or a deep out right here. He could be trying to do certain things to get like a better leverage or advantage on the DB, okay? And he also does a good job, like, this is the subtle things, y'all, because I want y'all to see this, right? Let me back it up just a little bit more. When he was right here, it looks like he was more inside leverage because he was outside the numbers. And you wonder why he was inside leverage, because guess what? The sideline is right here, okay? It's towards this way. But when we get inside the numbers, what does he do? Now he's playing in outside leverage. Want to know why? Because he has help from the safeties. You know, I can funnel these guys to my safeties. I can be aggressive on anything out breaking, and you're going to see exactly why he was so aggressive on it. So look, Adam Thielen's going to be running this type of route where he's going to be selling this crosser, and he's going to be going right back out, like really like a pylon route, basically. So look, and D does a very good job of staying blanketed over this the entire time, okay? So let's watch this play out. You're going to see he's doing this from depth, but he's going to close the distance on him and get right in the phase and stay in phase the entire route. Like, and people like, where did this come from? Like, why did he become good all of a sudden? He was always good. When you play with Jimmy Lake, things like that happen where you look bad. Now, he had his moments, obviously, but it's like, bro, come on, y'all. But anyways, get back to the rep. So he does a good job staying in phase right here. And once again, remember what I talked about where you have your inside help from the safeties. Okay, look at who's high. Okay, if this guy breaks across the middle, guess what? He's going into both of the safeties. Like, and so if he does, you know, that's going to be coming back across, which I'm assuming it would be in theory, right? He could fall off of it and then pick this up. But, you know, that's probably not what's happening. That's probably not the call anyways. But anyways, back to my whole point about the whole rep for D in particular. He's playing outside leverage. He's staying true to his leverage, staying true to his help. We always knew he could do this. And once again, he was being aggressive on this, because if we back it up once again, being aggressive is closing that distance and then getting your hands on, getting in the phase. Jimmy Lake would have a seizure if he tried to do this, okay? Because we played zone probably like most in the league, right? But I don't know why he didn't trust him, you know, get on his horses and play man-to-man coverage, okay? Anyways, look at this. He stays over top of this entire route. And look at that. JJ McCarthy can't put it in a reliable spot, because if he overthrew it a little bit, Xavier Watts would get it, okay? If he underthrew it, Dee Alford would get it. And later on in this game, he got it, you know, he threw it deep, and Xavier Watts got an interception off of that because he was still in perfect position to play the route. I'm not sure like what this I'm know where the perception came from, but D's never been bad. If everybody, you know, people have been paying attention to it, some people knew he was good, but not everybody knew. Everybody had that short memory, and you know, he was kind of on the bad side of fans, but never on my bad side, because I knew he was good. I knew what he could bring to the table, okay? And one thing I do want y'all to take notice is that how a defensive coordinator can pretty much kill a guy's career reputation, because look at Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons hasn't played a down of football since January, okay? People really think he's not good anymore. A lot of our fans still think he wasn't good. Now, he wasn't, you know, all pro Justin Simmons with us, but he was still pretty good. I said that too. You know, all things considered, bad coordinator, bad scheme, all of that. He was very good for what, you know, we were working with. Dee Alford, I would say he wasn't necessarily as good. Even he would tell you he had a down year, okay? It happens in the league when you switch, you know, coordinators, schemes, teams, all of that. But you can see when he's put in an advantageous situation, he can thrive, okay? Like, he is very good to have as a depth piece, or a backup rather. Like, and I still think he could actually start. Like, if you put him on another team that's corner deficient and has a good coordinator with him, he's going to be very good, okay? I don't know why everybody switched up on him so fast. Everybody saw that, okay, Jimmy Lake was the problem, but then they was like, nah, he's just bad in general. He was never bad. Like, AJ took a drop off, Mike Hughes took a drop off, D took a drop off, everybody took a drop off when Jimmy Lake took over. But no, when it's time to talk about D, he was just always bad. It wasn't like that. But I digress. So if y'all did enjoy this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more. More's coming at y'all. See you guys later. Goodbye.